What if I told you that in just 18 seconds, yes, less time than it takes you to drink a glass of water, you could turn yourself into an energy broadcasting machine capable of attracting anything? Your dream job, your ideal love, a flow of abundance, even a perfect parking spot during rush hour. Sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? I understand that, but stay with me, because in the next few minutes, you'll be guided through this exact simple technique and it's been backed by neuroscientists. After this video, you'll be able to apply it yourself. Hello, it's great to see you again. I'm James Walker, and today we're going to explore a completely fresh perspective on the law of attraction. Not vague, not mystical, not hours of meditation or journaling about gratitude, but rather a mental activation in 18 seconds that helps you align your mind, emotions, and energy to become magnetic to what you truly desire. And if you're new to this channel, remember, we don't just talk about theory here. We offer practical methods you can apply directly to your current life. So hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. Let's start with the secret of the brain and why 18 seconds is a magical number. Here's what most people don't understand about how the mind works. Researchers have shown that for the brain to start forming a neural pathway, a mental trail that can leave a lasting imprint in your subconscious, you need to focus for at least 17 to 20 seconds. Not long, but long enough for the brain to register, this is important, I should pay attention. I want you to imagine this. You start a car, but just as the engine begins to warm up, you shut it off. The engine never gets a chance to heat up. The brain works the same way. If you think about what you want, but only for 3 or 4 seconds, then switch to worrying, texting, or scrolling through social media, you've just extinguished the very signal you were trying to send to the universe. You don't lack dreams, you lack focused attention. And this is exactly why 18 seconds becomes a magical number. It's just long enough to begin establishing an inner signal and also long enough to trigger an emotional response. Something that, according to scientists at the HeartMath Institute, can activate an electromagnetic field from the heart, a field 5 times stronger than the brain when it comes to broadcasting feelings. And do you know what happens when you sustain an emotion long enough? It begins to solidify into a state. And a state, when intentionally repeated, becomes reality. So the question becomes, why 18 seconds? What if I do it for just 5 seconds? And here lies the greatest paradox I've seen in modern life. You want a life that is clear and powerful, but you live with a mind that is scattered, fragmented, and without a driver. You sit down and decide, I'll think about what I want, but not even 5 seconds later, you slip into a stream of random thoughts. What should I eat today? Did I send that email? Who just texted me? And on it goes. You see, your mind isn't broken. It's wild. It's like an untrained horse, and if you don't learn how to hold the reins, it will drag you wherever it wants, and often, it's not where you want to go. Here's the simple truth. Your brain isn't trained to focus, it's trained to survive. Our ancestors had to notice strange sounds, burning smells, and signs of danger. They survived by constantly splitting attention. But today, when focus is the most valuable currency, that old habit has become a burden. So why do you fail at the 4th second? Not because you're incapable, but because you've never trained for mental consistency. You've never sat down, faced a single thought, and held it there like a steadfast gatekeeper. And do you know what happens when you don't guard your gate? Everything floods in, except what you truly desire. I want you to start today. Every time your mind starts running wild, call it back, gently but firmly, like training a muscle. Repeat, remind, no anger, but no surrender. Because if you can't hold a thought for 18 seconds, you'll never hold a dream for a lifetime. Now you know what you need to do, right? But knowing is one thing, practice is what creates transformation. The steps I'm about to share aren't just theory or a hack you find online. This is a ritual, a small but profound habit that can turn you into a living transmitter of what you truly want. Step 1, find a quiet space. No need to sit in the lotus position or light candles. Just make sure it's a place where you feel safe and won't be disturbed. Sit down and relax. Step 2, now bring your full attention to your heart space. It should feel as if you relocated your mind's headquarters from your head to the center of your chest. This is the shift point. Step 3, take deep, slow, steady breaths. But don't just breathe with your lungs. Imagine your heart is breathing. Each inhale is energy, and each exhale is stillness. This is when you're activating your power center. Step 4, hold this state for at least 18 seconds. You don't need a stopwatch, just stay with it long enough to feel grounded rather than drifting. Step 5, once you're centered, visualize what you want. But don't just see it, feel it. If it's your dream job, feel the excitement of your first day. If it's a meaningful relationship, feel the peace of being beside that person. Step 6, now, hold on to that feeling, along with the presence in your heart, for another 18 seconds. At this point, it's no longer imagination. You are reprogramming your bioelectric field. You are vibrating on the same frequency as what you desire. And when you hold that frequency often enough, strong enough, the world begins to respond as if it always belonged to you. Because here's the thing, the universe doesn't respond to weak begging. It responds to resonance. And you are the one who creates that resonance. Now you know how to do it, but be careful. This is exactly where most people stumble. They try it a few times, don't see results, and give up, and they go back to their old life, filled with doubt and lack. The problem isn't the technique. The problem lies in how you approach the technique. First, trying too hard. You don't need to strain yourself to attract anything. When you're tense, anxious, or forcing yourself to succeed, you're sending a subtle signal that says, I'm not enough. And the universe, honest as it is, simply mirrors that truth back to you. Let go. Do not give up. Just relax to allow. Second, focusing on lack. Many people think they're visualizing what they want, but inside, they're feeling the absence of it. For example, I want money, but deep down, they're trembling over unpaid bills. They're broadcasting the frequency of lack, not abundance. And as you already know, the frequency of lack only attracts more lack. Third, impatience. Practicing a few times and expecting instant miracles is a childlike expectation. Think of it like working out. You don't go to the gym once and expect six-pack abs. So with your mind, which is far more complex than your body, why would you demand instant transformation? I want you to understand this. Power doesn't come from randomness. It comes from intentional repetition. Think of the 18-second technique as mental hygiene. In the morning, you use it to calibrate your energy for the day. At night, you use it to clear away the noise before sleep. Do it regularly, no pressure. Do it sincerely, not perfectly, and you'll start to notice something strange. Reality begins to listen to you. Now you understand, it's not enough to simply think about what you want. You must feel as if you already have it. That's the difference between those who keep wishing and those who truly attract. You can repeat a positive affirmation hundreds of times in your head, but if inside you still feel empty, doubtful, or lacking, then the signal you're sending out is, I still don't have it. And the universe, like a highly tuned radio, will only pick up that frequency. I want you to try this immediately after this section ends. Instead of thinking, I want to succeed, try to feel success flowing through you. Feel the joy of a smooth workday. Feel the freedom of abundant finances. Feel the gratitude of clearly seeing that what you once wished for has become real. When you feel like you already have it, you no longer chase, you become the magnet, and the world begins to move toward you. I'm not saying this is easy, especially when you're living in a reality filled with pressure and stress. But remember, the mind doesn't distinguish between real and imagined. It only knows what you repeat. So repeat that feeling, small doses, every day, in the morning, before bed, while waiting for the bus, while walking. Let those tiny moments become where you fine-tune your frequency. Because if you don't adjust your frequency, you'll constantly be interrupted by fear, by the news, by people who don't believe in you. And I say this from the heart. You deserve what you desire, but only when you believe you already have it will you truly begin to attract it. You see, every major transformation doesn't begin with an explosion. It begins with a small action repeated with deep presence. And here, all it takes is 18 seconds, but not 18 shallow seconds. It's the moment when you truly connect with what you want, with your heart, your emotions, and a quiet belief that says, I am on the right frequency. Don't start by trying to attract $1 million mansion if you haven't yet believed you deserve a peaceful day. Start small, an open parking spot, a text from a long-lost friend, a phone call that opens a door. When you witness these small things happening, not once, but again and again, you begin to change something vital, your inner belief. And as you already know, when belief shifts, your entire life changes direction. Not because the outer world suddenly gets easier, but because you, the inner you, have stepped into a version that is more trusting, more grateful, and more powerfully magnetic than ever before. I'm sharing this with you not as some universal secret to be mystified, but as a reminder. Consistency in the small is the foundation of the great. And if you're consistent, if you're willing to practice, you won't have to chase anything anymore, because you will become the very thing that every good thing is drawn to. Personal reflection. I've read hundreds of books on the law of attraction, but it wasn't until I realized that emotion, not words, is the key that everything started to shift. I began practicing the 18 seconds every morning, telling no one, just me, my heart, and what I was living as if I already had. And slowly, I didn't just attract what I wanted, I attracted a better version of myself. And I truly hope, if you've watched this video, that the very best is on its way to you. And finally, I want to ask you, if you had only 18 seconds a day to focus on what you want, what would you choose? Have you ever felt like something came to you at the perfect moment? Was it random? How long do you think you can hold a positive feeling? 5 seconds, 10, or the full 18? Let me know your answers in the comments below.